We gotta wash out his mouth with soap.
You mean tequila?
With tequila.
He will suffer for your insolence. Yo, Harun, you fool.
Wow, you're actually gonna handcuff this kid?
Come here. Don't resist this.
You will only fail if you resist. Yeah, you guys are such clowns, man.
Start running away.
Did you actually break that?
Yeah, I zipped out his hands.
Hey Heidi, how's it going?
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. I like your new picture, Heidi. It's very Christmassy.
Yeah, Christmas.
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
And candy cane. Yeah, it's awesome. Things are getting busy in Japan, right? With the holiday season.
Not so much. Not holiday season. Next month.
Next
Yeah.
month.
Very busy.
So maybe 1 month from now, right? Things will get crazy.
Yeah, in December we need to clean up our house. Everywhere.
Everywhere in the house.
Polish.
No way. And how long does that take? How many hours does it usually take you guys?
For example, ventilation system.
Even the ventilation system.
Yeah. Inside, very dirty, right?
What about the ceilings? Do you guys clean the ceilings?
Yeah, ceiling system.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So it's a very long process then. Then you
Yes,
guys
yes.
spend a long time doing it. Wow, that's incredible.
Little by little.
Little by little, yeah, step by step, right? Interesting. What about with I took a class on Japan. I think when I was a third year student in college, and our teacher was telling us about this process also. That I think the first 3 days of the new year are called the days of sleep. That everybody just sleeps on January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Something
No.
like that.
We wake up early morning.
Uh-huh.
Then we go to the shrine.
Guys go where?
Shrine.
Oh, the shrine. Okay, awesome. So maybe it's kind of a religious time also, right?
Yeah.
To focus on maybe good tidings for the year, right? Good wishes for the year.
New Year's Day we become Shinto, and usually Buddhist.
The New Year's Day.
Yeah, marriage ceremony change to Christian.
Oh, interesting. So there are different religious identities of Japanese people over their lives. Interesting. I'm curious. It's actually very curious for me that the Christian wedding is something that is very popular in Japan.
Yes.
But I feel like it's just the decorations and the display is in that Western Christian form. Is it also religiously Christian, or is it secular? Maybe it's secular, I think.
Religious wedding is much different. They're wearing kimono.
Interesting. Very cool.
It
Yeah.
means people are not so religious. We can change it anywhere.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But Shintoism is the original religion, right? I mean,
Yes.
the traditional original religion.
They
Would you
know,
say?
Emperor is it said the God family, descendant of God.
Yeah. And Yokoshima Shrine, I think, is... No, I'm not Yokoshima Shrine. What am I saying? There is a shrine in Tokyo for the soldiers and the people who died in the war, right?
Yes.
What is that one called again? Is that called Yasukuni Shrine, I think?
Yasukuni, yes.
Yeah. Do people go to Yasukuni in the New Year also?
No more.
Interesting. Yeah. Emperor Meiji was a very powerful person, right?
Yeah.
Changed so many things in Japan. Yeah. Very cool. So Heidi, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes. I wanted to focus just to give you an introduction to the class. Today we're going to be looking at phrasal verbs in this class. So what are phrasal verbs, right? Phrasal verbs are those, actually,
Combined with preposition noun, noun, verb, or
yeah,
verb and verb.
absolutely, absolutely. Verbs and prepositions, verbs combined with other kinds of nouns, right?
And to make the different meaning.
Exactly, exactly. And you really, the key to understanding phrasal verbs is to just speak and use them as much as possible in conversation. Really, because the more you use phrasal verbs in conversation, the easier it's going to be for you to, understand their meaning and also understand how they're used in different kinds of scenarios, right? So scenarios become very important in the study of phrasal verbs because everything is based off of scenarios.
But I can't remember.
Yeah, it takes practice, honestly, because sometimes we see, for example, to give up, right? Give up is a phrasal verb. If you know what give means and if you know what up means, give up would be, hey, I give something up, but it's not that at all, right? It's something completely different. So just practice, What are some, actually, let me ask you, Heidi, since we're getting started, the question I have for you is, what are some, do you ever give up when you are arguing with somebody? Like, let's say you have an argument. Do you ever give up, or do you stay, I will win, and you keep talking and talking and talking?
Yeah, I avoid to win.
You avoid winning in those ideas, or in those situations?
Yeah, if I win, the opponent always think about that. Then if I lose, maybe he is satisfied.
So you want to lose so that the other person is happy?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I would try to win.
But opponent will remember that time, every time. So in the
That's okay.
future, they will have revenge to you.
That's okay. He should remember that I beat him because I'm better than him, right?
Oh, really?
I'm just joking, right? But
I don't want to make enemy.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Sometimes, people who like to avoid conflict, right? We call them non-confrontational, right? They don't want confrontation. Confrontation is when you have struggle, people, not liking each other. Confrontation, right? They're non-confrontational. Okay, if you do something bad to me, I'll get out of your way, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make a big deal out of something.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. Sometimes you need to. Like when I drive, I am a confrontational driver. Right.
If I lose
My friends are laughing.
that argument, I don't lose anything. Only that.
That's true. That's true. But I think if you deserve to be right, you should say, "Hey, I'm right."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So what are some other examples of phrasal verbs that we see often in English, would you say, Heidi? What are some other ones that you can think of?
Call off.
Call off, that's a big one. What about another one?
Pick up.
Pick up, right? Pick up, so pick up, call off.
Check up.
Oh, check up on somebody. And what does that mean when you check up on somebody?
I check up, for example, I go to the dentist to check up my teeth.
Yeah, to get a checkup from the dentist, absolutely, that's a great idea. And what are some other ones actually? Go ahead.
Wake up.
Wake up, yeah, those are good ones. What about ones in which we talk about when we're trying to find something? What do we say?
Find.
It also uses up, but there's another word.
Dig up. Discover.
Look up something, yeah, when you look up something, right? So if I look up something in the dictionary, I'm trying to find something in the dictionary, right? What about, there are a few other ones, for example, we have, what does try out mean? To try out something.
To taste. Taste?
Yeah, to test something. To give something a trial, right? You're trying something out, you want to see, do I like it, do I not like it, whatever. What about to find out? What does that mean?
Find out. Discover.
Discover, yeah, to find out, to look up. Look up is to find something. To find out something is to discover something. And remember, one of the really important things about phrasal verbs is we should really look at them in context, right? If something is in context, then you can say, even if you don't know the meaning of the phrase, of that phrasal verb, you can understand it from the situation, right? So if I say something like, the meeting was called off because not everyone will be able to attend, right? In that example, even if you didn't know what called off means, right? What does called off mean, actually?
Called off. Called off.
Yeah.
It's a cancel.
Yeah, something that's canceled is called off, right? So even if I didn't know that called off means canceled, I could look at the rest of the sentence. The meeting was something, was blank, because not everyone will be able to attend, right? So nobody came or nobody showed up, or not everybody was able to show up, so it was canceled, right? So those ideas, sometimes the context really helps us develop a picture of what the verb is going to be, or what the phrasal verb actually means, right? And what about something like, if we use a word like I have a list here that I want to use, and I guess the idea is sometimes we use the same phrasal verb in different verb tenses, right? So for example, when you do this, you only want to change the verb portion of the phrasal verb. The preposition never changes, right? So if you want to, how would you say call off in the present progressive, in the present continuous, Heidi?
I'm calling off
Yeah, I'm calling off.
the flight.
Right? Yeah, or they are calling off the flight, right? Because maybe the flight was canceled for some reason, right? So yeah, exactly, right? The present progressive, the present continuous change happens to the verb, does not happen to the actual preposition, right? So we see that example a lot in English. Hey, Allah, how's it going? Welcome back.
Yeah, hi.
Good to see you again. Hi, we have somebody in our class. You have somebody new, Allah? I can hear a baby.
Yes, she is my daughter. Go, please, go.
Fantastic. Say hi to her. Does she want to join us on Colingo?
No, she is go to another room.
Okay. If she wants to join, she can learn about phrasal verbs, actually. So that's what we're talking about today. Allah. What are phrasal verbs? Do you remember, Allah, what we mean by phrasal verbs in English?
Phrase and verb.
Phrasal verbs, yeah. So sometimes we have these words these verbs in English that we call phrasal verbs. Yeah. So phrasal verbs are examples of words that we use. Yeah. Go ahead, Allah.
Phrase is it's not word, it's
more than one word is a phrase. Yeah.
Yes, and word just one. Yes.
So what's an example? Can you think of one that's an example of a phrasal verb, Allah?
Verb, any verb, go, want, that verb.
Actually, so those are just normal verbs, right? Phrasal verbs we have a word that's a verb that also has maybe a preposition attached to it, right? So for example, when you say words like, for example, in English we say give up something, right? That's a phrasal verb. Or call off something, or look up something, right? All of these words, up and off, right? Sometimes people say, I don't know, try out something. Out, up, off. These are all examples of prepositions, right? So when you have a verb that is combined with a preposition, hey, good to see you. A verb is combined with a preposition, that is a phrasal verb, right? So it's a different kind of verb. It's a combination of a preposition with a verb, actually. Does that make sense, Allah?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't? It's a different kind of verb that just uses a phrase. It uses another word. It uses a preposition. That's the idea. So many times in English we can say I give up, right? It's common in English to use phrasal verbs. We use the phrasal verbs all the time. Instead of saying I surrendered, right? People say I give up, right? Surrender is very formal. Give up is more normal, right? Or I look up something. Instead of I find something, I look up something, right? So that's the idea in English, right? What's another example of a phrasal verb? Can you think of one, Allah, that you think might work?
Yes, try on.
Try on, yeah. What does try on mean?
Try. Try on for try for I don't.
Yeah, like any kind of clothes, right? Clothes you can try on. So let's say you go to the store. Let's say you go to the store. You don't know if the shirt will fit you or if the pants will fit you. You can try them on, right? You can see, oh, maybe this is loose. It's too loose. Yeah, it's too big for me, right? But maybe it's skinny and it's good for you. It's a good fit, and that's how you can try something on. Right? So those are different kinds of verbs that we see. Heidi, I have another question for you. Actually, I just thought of one. What is an example of a phrasal verb that we use for computers? We use a lot of them for computers and for technology.
Turn off.
Turn off something, yeah, right? Turn off something. Yeah, fantastic, right? So turn on something or turn off something. What about when you are checking your email? What do you do before you check your email? Or when you go online, what do you do?
Check in.
Yeah, sign in, check in, right? So many different types of. You can check in, you can sign in, you can log on, right?
Log out.
Yeah, log on and log out. We use these words in technology all the time when we are talking about what we do, right? Yeah, so many different types, especially in technology these days, we use phrasal verbs like crazy. We have a lot of phrasal verbs in English, right? So, any questions, guys, about phrasal verbs and how we use them?
No question.
No questions? Allah? Okay, good. So today, guys, we are going to be spending the second half of the class looking at a study of relationships that are based on communication that is not face-to-face communication. Right? So relationships that have a lot of texting, a lot of SMS messages, a lot of back and forth, maybe, people typing away on their phone, I mean, is that healthy for relationships, right? There was a new study that was done that actually reveals some information, right? And just like we see many times in these articles, right, guys, I want you guys to tell me if something doesn't make sense. Really, I want you guys to ask me about vocabulary words because I want to spend some time understanding the material, right? And then we can focus on the grammar actually in the article. Right. So here's the article, guys, and it's from a smaller magazine. I haven't heard of this magazine before, this article, but it's called The Atlantic. And I think it's interesting. I think they have a very interesting perspective for people. So let's take a look. Maybe it's a bad idea to resolve arguments by testing, says science. Right? What does it mean to resolve something, guys? What does resolve mean?
Resolve the consequence or
What is that? What did you say, Heidi? I'm sorry.
resolve this make a conclusion.
Yeah, making a conclusion is one example, right? Resolve, actually, guys, to be honest with you, the answer is actually in the verb. It means to solve something. Right? To resolve something is to solve something. To come up with a solution for something is to resolve it, right? So maybe it's a bad idea to solve your arguments, to fix your arguments by texting, right? But sending "I love you" makes you feel good, right? That's interesting. A very interesting situation, right? Sending this message does make you feel good, right? So let's say, If your relationship involves a lot of texting, it may not be the happiest of unions. That's the most significant finding of a study published this week on how serious couples use digital technology to communicate. Conducted by researchers at Brigham Young University, the study found that when men text their female partner frequently, they also find the relationship to be of lower quality. Right? Interesting situation. Do you guys have any questions on these first two paragraphs?
Why does my girlfriend get put random text back?
Any questions, guys?
No question.
What does conducted mean?
Made.
Yeah, made or performed, right? Something that is conducted by somebody is performed by somebody, right? So this research was done by researchers, was performed by researchers at Brigham Young University, which is a university in Utah, which is what's interesting about this university, guys, is the university actually belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is a very long way of saying that they belong to the Mormon Church. There's a Mormon religion.
Yes.
It's a religion in the United States that started in the United States that's very international now.
Many Mormons came to Japan.
Yeah, so Brigham Young University is the largest Mormon university in the world, right? And because of the fact that this study took place in a Mormon university and involved a lot of Mormon people, some people don't think that the results are that believable, right? And we'll look into that, right? The setting of the study, though, is a little weird, and not just in a Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic sense. The study sampled a small group, only 276 18 to 25-year-olds, and of those sampled, this being a Brigham Young study, about a third were Mormon. Right? So the study focused on students or people between the age of 18 to 25, but only 276 of these people, right? And about 1/3 of them, so maybe 91 of them, 91, 92 of them were Mormon, right? And according to the Pew, which is another research firm, only 1.7% of Americans identify as Mormon, right? Likewise, 62% of these 276 people, 62% were engaged or married, right? So they were already in a relationship, right? According to the 2012 U.S. Census, 85.3% of 20 to 24-year-olds Americans have never been married, right? So this is something that is 62% of these people who were asked the question were married, right? 85% of the normal population are not married, right? So it's a very specific group of people that they looked at in the study, which maybe makes the study's results a little difficult to believe, right? Finally, also, all of the couples that were sampled for this study were male-female. All of the couples were male-female. They didn't look at any female-female couples or any male-male couples, right? Which is now a big problem. I mean, it's a big issue in the study because there are now many relationships in the United States that are male-male and female-female, but this is not looking at those relationships. It's looking at just the male-female relationships, right? So now the study doesn't claim to be representative, right? This study doesn't claim to be amazing, right? Nor does it claim to be causal, I'm sorry. Nor does it claim to be causal. And some of its findings were helpful or cheerful. It found that when one partner sends another an affectionate text message, both people feel good about their relationship, but the sender can feel better. So when you have a husband or a wife who sends a message, a romantic message to the other person, the sender can actually feel better, right? The study also found that couples are much more likely to keep up with one another via text than social networks. This is a phrasal verb here, guys. What does keep up mean? To keep up with one another.
To continue?
Yeah, to keep in touch with one another, to communicate with one another. right? If you keep up with somebody, you're communicating with them. You are communicating with them regularly, right? Something happens and you can say, yeah, I'm keeping up with my friends in college, right? After people graduate, they still keep up with their friends, right? Over 80% of those surveyed said that they sent more than one text a day to their partner, right? So a lot of people sent texts to their partners. It also stunningly found that trying to resolve arguments via text was associated with unhappier relationships. People who tried to resolve their arguments by texting messages back and forth between each other had unhappy relationships, right? So the rest of this, guys, is actually pretty complicated. I mean, it's not really that important. But I wanted to stop there, guys, and I wanted to ask, what do you guys think about this? Does it surprise you guys that texting, when it comes to arguments, is not a good solution? Heidi, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. If I was sent some bad message, I'm angry, then in my cell phone, that bad word remained forever.
That's an
Whenever
interesting point.
I look at the message, I got angry again.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely right. So when the fact that we have technology, messages stay, right? Messages don't get deleted, right? You can always say Heidi was so angry at Farhan. Okay, Heidi was so angry. Heidi hated the class on phrasal verbs, right? So Heidi sent Farhan this horrible message, right? Now every time Heidi sees that message in her cell phone, she feels sad, or she feels more angry, maybe, right?
Yes.
Because of technology, right? So it's something that is, but also, actually, before I ask you that, guys, that question, Allah, are you surprised by this, that they're saying that if you have a problem with your wife, if you are texting your wife, both of you are probably going to be unhappy? Does that surprise you?
Yeah, but I don't think, or I don't do this way, because when I have any problem, I can't write message. I like to sit with my wife and speak about this problem and get conversation face to face. Not I speak with cell phone or with iPad. I don't like this way, because actually same Heidi here. When I want to remember this problem, maybe I open the message. I know my wrong speak, or that's bad feeling.
Absolutely right. And why is face-to-face better, Allah? Why do you think face-to-face is better?
Because the feeling and the language body, that's come better than only write, because the sound message is very easy. You can write anything you want and sound without feeling. I think when I said catch problem, or now a lot for this problem, and give chance for she speak and I speak. It's not only message and message. You can't fix problem in this way, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Right? Your body language, right? The way you speak, the way you carry the conversation, right? Those are all very important ways to share your ideas with somebody else, right? I mean, it shows you as an emotional person, right? If I send you a text message, now we have these things called smileys, right? We have these things. Oh, I smile. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm this, right? Do they actually show any kind of human emotion? Are smileys helpful, guys? What do you guys think? Are smileys helpful?
You can send emoticon.
Yeah, an emoticon it maybe also helps, but when I smile, do I smile like this? No, I don't. Really, I don't, guys. I'm sorry, but I don't smile like that, right? I mean, my friend is making fun of me now because really, hey guys, you can see all my teeth, right? I mean, it's fake, right? It's almost like, when I smile normally, right? If I can smile, right? I mean, that's it, If I frown, I'm like, whatever. Like, I mean, these are like fake kind of emoticons and these things, right? They don't really show human emotion,
Yeah, I
right?
know it's fake, but still I'm very glad.
Yeah, they're fun, right? They're fun.
Yeah.
I think they're fun if it's not a serious situation, then they're absolutely fun, right? But can you imagine having an argument with somebody and writing something like this, like an emoticon like this, like that, like can you imagine that? Like that's a surprise, right? They use the O as a surprise, right? I have no idea. If I saw that, I would just delete the message.
But if argument, but he said smile emoticon. How do you think?
If it's an argument, an emoticon for an argument,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I've seen this one before. I've seen this one for like somebody who's dead, right? I've seen other kinds. I've seen this one for somebody who's so serious, like he's serious, very serious, like the eyes and the nose, right? Like no expression, right? But they don't make sense to me, honestly. I mean, Heidi, what do you think? If you have an argument with somebody, or if you disagree with somebody, isn't it better to just talk to them face to face, like we heard from Allah?
Face to face. At first, I'm angry. If you are stupid or something, I got angry. Then I returned to my house. Maybe he had another meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I think a better way. Then finally,
Yeah. And how does it help to ask people what they feel? Does that help? Like, let's say I have a problem with somebody, right? I go to that person and I say, hey, man, how do you feel? What is going on? Is that a good way to start? How do you guys, when there's a problem, how do you guys fix those problems? How do you resolve those situations? What's your strategy? At the beginning, do you just try to cool down? Right? Cool down is a phrasal verb, guys. What does cool down mean?
Yes. Be calm.
Yeah, to calm down, right? To cool down is to calm down. It's just relax, Because if we're angry, we might throw something, punch someone, right? We might do some crazy things, right? But if you calm down, then maybe you can relax. So my strategy is I calm down, right? Then maybe I find the person, or I call them, or I visit them and I say, hey man, like what was the problem? Can we just talk, right? Is that how do you guys resolve it? Heidi, how do you resolve it? Do you try to calm down or do you start fighting?
I calm down. Only that. I don't apologize.
You don't apologize.
Yeah.
You just calm down and then,
If the person says something, I accept. Only that. If
Really?
If he or she ignore me, it's okay.
Interesting. Allah, what do you do if somebody has a problem with you? Let's say some guy on the street, right? Some guy on the street starts arguing with you. What's your strategy? Do you just like punch him in the face?
When the problem, big problem in the street, because somebody is making you nervous, you don't like to make nervous, but his speak, his language is so bad. Why do you do? Sometimes I am nervous. Sometimes I don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But with the traffic, with the street, here has a lot of problems. Because a lot of people take lessons, but he can't drive.
Really?
Of course, but he have somebody in government give him the license. That's
Really?
the problem here. Yeah, and
That's
sorry,
really
but
bad.
the woman, yeah, and the woman drive is very bad. Not all, but the high person here. Not he is maybe you take heroin after him, he he can't drive good.
So she can't drive well, right? We're talking about women, right?
Sorry, yeah, she is can't.
Yeah. So the women, so you're saying in Kuwait, the women really can't drive that well, most of them.
Yes,
Most of
a
them are
lot
like
of
that.
women drive here.
But they can't drive well.
Not all.
But some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. So if there's a woman who's driving down the street like a crazy woman, right? She doesn't know the rules. Maybe she's going to cause an accident. How can you talk to the woman? Because Kuwait is a traditional society. You cannot yell at the woman, right? You have to be very polite.
Here in Kuwait, the woman he is, Arab opinion, Arab thinking. It's different Americana. Here, the woman only sit in car and he is kill father or husband or anyone. You speak with this person, but this is for Kuwaiti. Another nationality, it's easy. Speak. The woman is not same the man. The woman is it's easy than man. Very easy. She can't speak bad, and no problem with she. It's
Okay.
Different.
Yeah.
Not same man.
Yeah, I know it's different from the US, absolutely, but I had no idea that some of these women, for example, are getting their licenses from the government, even though they don't know how to drive. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unsafe, right? Well, what if they kill somebody? What will happen if they kill somebody? If there's a big accident, if there's a big accident and a woman kills somebody in the accident, what will happen?
Yeah. I like to speak about this problem. In Kuwait, every day, two people die in traffic, in accident in street. That's in 2009, 2010 is up, 2011 up. Every year, this
These people,
not people.
Oh.
People maybe this year is one person, 2 years one person. Personality. I don't know what this is, but it's for how you know. Maybe this year 1 in 100, 2 year 2 in 100.
Oh, 1%, 2%, 4%.
Percent, yeah.
Percent.
The percent every year is go up.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's
a.
Go ahead, Allah. Go ahead.
Yes, because the car is very expensive and very modern. The driver he can't know the really speed he is go.
He needs to drive. I mean, you need to learn. There's no excuse. You know, if you don't know how to drive, you shouldn't drive. I mean, simple logic.
And high speed, he is maybe 180, 190 in high street. This is not in high street only 120.
Yeah, the speed limit. Yeah, so the speed limit is 190 or 120, but they're driving 190 or 180.
Yeah.
Wow, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's no excuse. I'm sorry, Allah, but I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Right? There's nobody's doing anything to fix this problem.
Yes, now the government, the plan for government now is take the camera in street. In past time, he's take camera, but not a lot camera. But now maybe you drive 10 kilometers, you have camera. 20 kilometers, you have camera. يعني in Kuwait even high roads is now have a lot of camera. You can't, when you want to go up 120, maybe only 1 minute, 2 minutes, have another camera and straight. And you need to down your speed for camera.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is good, but the problem not for and street camera. You need people when he take lessons, have some learned and some how he can drive. Drive not only how you drive. You have some information and
Yeah, they're driving like my friends. We say sometimes they're driving like hayawan, yani, like they are driving like animals. You know, I mean,
yeah,
there's no rules in the road. You know, they are just driving like there's, you know, it's not the desert. This is a highway. You know, you have to.
Yes, I know this idea in Arabic. The drive you need 3 things, but I don't know in English. But one thing is how you drive.
Mm-hmm.
But you need 2 things because you waiting and employ it. That's my learning in my country. Not
Mm-hmm.
only how you drive. You need some, maybe this old man, maybe this woman, maybe. I know in Arabic, but yeah, that's my idea here.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Very sad, unfortunately, that so many people are dying every year. The government has finally, after what, 4 years maybe now, they're finally starting to make a plan for some kind of cameras or whatever, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. But whatever. At least they're doing something, right? So, yeah, thanks for sharing that all as well. I had no idea it was that bad. Drive safe. When you drive safe, yani.
Yeah, of course I drive safe.
Yeah, we don't want. That's good. That's good. Heidi, I had another question for you. You know, have you ever, or maybe in Japanese society, we're talking about texting and all these other things, right? Has texting or these social networking things, have they ever been responsible for relationships being breaking up relationships? When we say breaking up, that's another phrasal verb, right? What does break up mean, Heidi?
Only Facebook friend, not a real friend.
No. I'm talking about real relationships. Have they, in Japan, is there a problem of them breaking up because of text messages, because of social media, online things?
I don't text so much, but depend on the couple. Required a lot of times. And the text, if the boyfriend received the message, they need to return the answer immediately.
Really? How come?
Yeah. Then if he is very busy, he can't send a message immediately. The girlfriend got angry.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Oh, really?
Well, not very angry, but she asks like, why did you take so long? You know, or whatever. I mean,
I don't know why so impatient.
I know. I don't get it either. Trust me. Same situation for me, right? I have no idea why. Is that just psychology for girls, Heidi? You're a girl. You can tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Is it part of the girl psychology? Maybe it's part of the girl psychology to always worry about the other.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Little strategy from my side.
Yeah. But you know, we see in the United States, for example, there are many examples of people who, you know, they have Facebook relationships, maybe, and then, you know, somebody makes a comment or somebody tags them in the wrong thing, and then before you know it, it's there's a big problem.
If you put some comment or some picture or something on the Facebook, no one clicked like. How do you think?
If nobody clicks like on a picture that I had, people click like all the time.
Yeah, if no one clicked.
Oh, that's impossible. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. It's not a problem, Heidi. I don't care, honestly. I mean, it's up to them, right? If they want to, make a, if they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
Do you want to disappoint us? No.
Maybe a little bit, right?
Mhm.
But not enough to destroy my friendship with anybody. And people are busy. Sometimes they don't see what I post.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, I can't. My social life cannot be 100% Facebook.
Mhm.
You know, I should say things to other people that they like, not just Facebook things.
Mhm. But sometimes people check who clicked the like.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, I don't really care about Facebook too much.
Mhm.
I maybe go on Facebook once a day just to check if I have messages, but I don't do the games or the likes and the pokes and all that crap. What's a poke? What's a poke, guys? Like in Facebook, when you poke somebody, what does that mean? You guys have to answer this question to me.
To say some bad comment.
No, poke is when in English, poke is when you go like this to somebody. Hey, man, hey. When you poke somebody, that's a poke, right? But what is the point of a poke in Facebook? Is it just to get someone's attention? Like, hey, Heidi, I'm poking you. Please send me a message. Where are you? You know? I mean, it's kind of silly, right? I mean, people are doing this kind of stuff, and now there's a like, and then why don't they make a dislike button? Right? Why don't they make a dislike button?
Like what?
I mean, what if I don't like it?
Mm-hmm.
Do I just not click it?
Maybe
You don't have to choose.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I really don't get it, Allah, and I really don't get it.
You can write comment.
I could write a comment, right? But I mean, who cares? Maybe I'm too lazy, right? I mean, it doesn't matter for me. I see it. It's silly. I don't like it. Okay. Next thing I know, 700 friends are liking it. I'm the only person who didn't like it. And the original friend says, "Oh, Farhan didn't like it. He must be angry at me. He must be." Who cares? Guys, really? For me? I don't know. That's my idea. Allah, what's your idea? Do you use Facebook a lot?
I use Facebook, but it's spend a lot of time. When I open Facebook, the people he know in my country and in different country, I am open. I have 750 people in my Facebook. This is high, this is high, this is high. When you don't answer message, they thinking wrong. You don't want to speak with him. That's not my idea. But I open Facebook because I want to know some news in my country. Some news, but that's my, when you give anyone blog or move, is angry.
Yeah,
But
you can.
I think
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sometimes
Go ahead.
friend send me hi. I just understand what meaning hi, only hi, so I ignored so.
Yeah. Sometimes I lost 2 Facebook friends once. Yeah, Allah, go ahead.
when anyone said for me hi, I said for him bye.
Yeah. So many people hi and bye. I mean, so many people say these crazy things, right? I've gotten Facebook messages from people from Australia.
It's no meaning.
I don't know who they are. Yeah, there's no meaning for that, right?
So I ignore that.
You ignore that, right? I delete them. I block them. I destroy them. I'm just joking. But they don't get to bother me anymore, right? Because it's silly, right? What they do. I mean, the idea is, and then relationships. Have you guys found? Do you guys know? I mean, sometimes we hear about this, that people go on Facebook just to find a date, right? They send messages to people who are maybe young girls or something like that. Maybe men send messages to girls. It's crazy. I mean, it's a dangerous thing, right? Now we have teenagers, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. They just lie about their age, and they get a Facebook account, right? And they put pictures of themselves, and they don't have any privacy settings. So anybody can see their pictures, right? It's a big problem. I mean, have you guys seen this in Kuwait or in Japan when it comes to privacy and relationships and things like that in Facebook? I think it's happened before. Have you guys seen that? Or am I just crazy? I see it in the U.S. all the time.
But nowadays, we can segregate friends very close and not so much.
Yeah, yeah. And now, did you guys see that there's in Facebook, there's another setting called close friends, right? Like you can make somebody not just a friend, but a close friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So if I see some...
So
yeah, or...
not the important people are acquaintance.
Exactly. So if I see that, Heidi, I'm your acquaintance, and now I'm angry. Because I thought we were friends.
But I don't know. Or you segregate me as an acquaintance. I don't know.
Oh, there's no way to know. Okay, I guess that helps. Yeah, but I mean, is there really a reason for that, guys? Like, I mean, I don't know why Facebook would do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a way to organize. Like, if I meet somebody on the street, and he adds me as a Facebook friend, then I can say acquaintance. Maybe I can make a note, oh, this guy met me in the restaurant. I don't know who he is, but he met me. Right? And then maybe with my close friends, I know exactly who they are, so I could just, write about them. Or I would make them my close friends if I know who they are. Right. Kind of crazy, guys. I think people live on social media too much these days. I don't know, guys. Do you guys use Twitter? Do you guys know anything about Twitter and relationships? Any ideas on Twitter? I don't use Twitter, guys. I have no idea.
I have Twitter friend, only one.
Only one Twitter friend?
Some newspaper or something.
Yeah, yeah. Those help, right? Allah, do you use Twitter?
No.
Good,
good.
good.
I have user, but I don't use. I like to speak about one point.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. The social media have two faces. The one face is good for know about some news for friends, for country, for anything you want. But another face, when you have any hobby, any ried, anything in Islam or in any culture, the people send for you message. Have a nice day or have any message. That's not good way. Not send message. You kill me. You come to the past time. The people he is come and he is give congratulation like that. This time is only send message. I think this is called feeling. And only you have 100 people select and send message. Finish. No.
It's a cold way to do it. Yeah. Right. Allah, I agree with you, because wouldn't it be better if you could, if you care about your friends, you go and meet your friend, maybe, right? I mean, what is this idea of always sending messages, right? Yeah.
I like to meet with my friends when I have anything. I like to meet with him, not only send message. With best friend, I like to meet, and with my family, of course, I like to meet. But somebody, he is only send message.
Yeah. Some people do that. Yeah.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
That is social media and technology. That have two faces. Anything have two faces.
Yeah.
Something good, something bad.
I agree. There's a good and bad to all of these things, right? And it's sad that people rely so much on social media sometimes that they don't even really know how to interact with people. because they're always living on their computers. They're always living in this Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, I don't know, whatever world, Instagram, all these other websites, right? And they don't really know. If you meet them at a party, they're sitting in a corner. And they don't understand normal social interaction, right? They can't talk. They can't have a conversation with somebody in a normal way. Maybe they don't have that many friends because they focus their social energies completely on the internet, right? And maybe for some people, relationships, in this article we were looking at texting, why not just call the other person? It's so much easier, right? Texting, I'm sending 600 texts, takes me a long time to type. Just call the other person. If you have an internet, yeah, it's easy, and you can say, hey, maybe you're mad. Let's meet somewhere, whenever you're free. Me and you will talk, whatever, so much easier than texting. Texting is good for small messages. Did you receive my email? Yeah, I got it. Okay, sure, fantastic. Khalas, you got my message, right? But nothing big like that, big things need face-to-face.
But Facebook messages are a little reliable compared to cell phone.
Facebook messages are reliable?
A little compared to cell phone.
How come, Heidi? Why do you think that?
I send message in Facebook. I always think twice before sending.
So it allows you to check yourself before you send it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And in a text message, you don't really check. You just send whatever comes to mind, right? Whatever you think about. Interesting. Well, cool, guys. I think I'm the same way, Heidi, actually. When I send a text message, I just think of whatever I'm thinking at the time. Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. I just quickly type that. And a Facebook message...
Only one hand, right?
Yeah, only one hand. Yeah, only one hand. It's like, whatever. Yeah, I don't really focus so much, right? In an email or in a Facebook message, yeah, I focus much more. Okay, I'm going to type it out, blah, 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 right? I type it out much more professionally. Yeah, I agree. Well, guys, any questions on phrasal verbs? So phrasal verbs, remember, guys, are any verbs that use verb phrases that also include a preposition. So give up, call off, find out, look up, right?
Pick up.
All of these.
Pick up. A lot of meaning.
Yeah, pick up does have a ton of meanings. What are some of those meanings?
Shoes.
Pick up. Yeah, pick up your shoes. That's one.
And I go to the station to take you in my car, like that.
Yeah, to pick you up from a location, right? That's another example. Pick up is also, when it's used as a noun, it's a truck. Pick up a truck.
Yeah.
The trucks with the open back, right? We call those pickups in English, right? So many different ways that we can use these phrasal verbs, guys, right? And when we change the form of the phrasal verb, when we want to change the tense, we just change the tense of the verb. So give up in the present continuous is giving up, right? Or, call off in the past tense is called off. He called off something, right? We never change the preposition. We just change that base verb, right? Then we talked about Facebook and Twitter and relationships and messages and all these kinds of things, right? Any questions, guys, on any of that stuff? I don't mean to be rude against Facebook, but I really don't think, is very fun. I like to be normal. I like to smile normally with people. Yeah. So, anyway, guys. Well, awesome. No questions, guys, about the class or anything? Awesome, Heidi. Well, I'll thank you guys both for joining again for a second time, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Allah, thank you again for joining. Look forward. Yeah, absolutely, guys.
Look for.
Exactly. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. Have a good day.
I'll wait for.
I'll wait for the next class. Yeah, absolutely.
Goodbye. Bye bye.
Goodbye, guys. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Heidi. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. Really different. So just practice, What are some, actually, let me ask you, Heidi, since we're getting started, the question I have for you is, what are some, do you ever give up when you are arguing with somebody? Like, let's say you have an argument Do you ever give up, or do you stay, I will win, and you keep talking and talking and talking?
Mm. Yeah, I avoid to win.
You avoid winning in that, in those ideas, or in those situations?
Yeah, if I win, the opponent always think about that. Then if I lose, maybe he is satisfied.
So you want to lose so that the other person is happy?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I would try to win.
But opponent will remember that time every time. So in the
That's okay.
future, they will have revenge to you.
That's okay. He should remember that I beat him because I'm better than him, right?
Oh really?
I'm just joking, right? But
I don't want to make enemy.
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Sometimes, people who like to avoid conflict, right? We call them non-confrontational, right? They don't want confrontation. Confrontation is when you have struggle, people, not liking each other, confronting people over their lives. Interesting. I'm curious. It's actually very curious for me that the Christian wedding is something that is very popular in Japan.
Yes, yes.
But I feel like it's just the decorations and the display is in that Western Christian form. Is it also religiously Christian, or is it secular? Maybe it's secular, I think.
Religious wedding is much different. They're wearing kimono.
Interesting. Very cool.
It
Yeah,
means people are not so religious. We can change it anywhere.
yeah, that's what it seems like. But Shintoism is the original religion, right? I mean,
Yes.
the traditional original religion.
Would
you say?
Emperor is it said the God family, descendant of God.
Yeah, and Yokoshima Shrine, I think, is no. I'm not Yokoshima Shrine. What am I saying? There is a shrine in Tokyo for the soldiers and the people who died in the war, right?
Yes.
What is that one called again? Is that called Yasukuni Shrine?
Yasukuni,
I think. Yes. Yeah. Do people go to Yasukuni in the New Year also?
No.
Interesting. Yeah, Emperor Meiji was a very powerful person, right?
Yeah.
Changed so many things in Japan. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So Heidi, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes. I wanted to focus just to give you an introduction to the class. Today we're going to be looking at phrasal verbs in this class. So what are phrasal verbs, right? Phrasal verbs are those actually
combined with preposition noun, verb, or verb and verb.
Absolutely. Verbs and prepositions, verbs combined with other kinds of nouns, right?
And to make the different meaning.
Exactly. And you really, the key to understanding phrasal verbs is to just speak and use them as much as possible in conversation. Really, because the more you use phrasal verbs in conversation, the easier it's going to be for you to, understand the meaning and also understand how they're used in different kinds of scenarios, right? So scenarios become very important in the study of phrasal verbs because everything is based off of scenarios.
But I can't remember.
Yeah, it takes practice, honestly, because sometimes we see, for example, to give up, right? Give up is a phrasal verb. If you know what give means and if you know what up means, give up would be, hey, I give something up, But it's not that at all, right? It's something completely...
Inside was very dirty, right?
What about the ceilings? Do you guys clean the ceilings?
Yeah, ceilings.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So it's a very long process then. You guys spend a long time doing it. Wow. That's incredible. Little by little. Yeah, step by step, right? Interesting. What about with... I took a class on Japan, I think when I was a third-year student in college. And our teacher was telling us about this process also, that I think the first 3 days of the new year are called the days of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
That everybody just sleeps on January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Something
No.
like that.
We wake up early morning.
Uh-huh.
Then we go to the shrine.
Guys go where?
Shrine.
Oh, the shrine. Okay, awesome. So maybe it's kind of a religious time also, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To focus on maybe good tidings for the year, right? Good wishes for the year.
New Year's Day we become Shinto, and usually Buddhist.
Uh-huh. The
And,
New Year's Day.
yeah, marriage ceremony changed to Christian.
Oh, interesting. So there are different religious identities of Japan. We gotta wash out his mouth with soap.
You mean tequila?
With tequila.
You suffer for your insolence. You're Harun, you fool.
Wow, you're actually gonna handcuff this kid?
Wait, come here. Don't resist this.
You'll only fail if you resist. Yeah, you guys are such clowns, man.
They're running away.
Did you actually break that?
Yeah, I zipped out his hands.
Hey Heidi, how's it going?
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. I like your new picture, Heidi. It's very Christmassy.
Yeah, Christmas.
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
And candy cane. Yeah, it's awesome. Things are getting busy in Japan, right, with the holiday season?
Not so much. Not holiday season. Next month.
Next
Yeah.
month.
Very busy.
So maybe 1 month from now, right, things will get crazy.
Yeah, in December we need to clean up our house.
Uh-huh.
Everywhere.
Everywhere in the house.
Polish.
No way. And how long does that take? How many hours does it usually take you guys?
For example, ventilation system.
It's called break the
Even the ventilation system.
Yeah,